Hi, Ethan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
So my wife and I were just recently married 5 months ago.
Congratulations.
And thank you. I appreciate it. Since getting married, I adopted a bit of debt, which is something that I'm not too familiar with.
You adopted it?
Well, most of it is not mine.
Came with the package.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Man, I was slow on the uptake on that one, dude. My bad.
Sorry.
So she had a bunch of debt. That's now y'all's debt.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, listen, on behalf of wives everywhere, thank you for your gentle language that you adopted it as though it was like a sweet puppy.
Yeah, it was her cat.
That was very loving of you, man.
Her ugly cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's ours now. It is ours.
So how much debt did you adopt?
So, a little under 100,000.
So you adopted like a hippopotamus, like not a puppy.
This is not a puppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a large puppy.
Yeah. All right. $100,000. And what's your household income?
Yeah, my household income is it's about 58.
Okay. And you two are on the same page about attacking all of this, I assume?
Yes, sir, we are.
Good. How can we help?
So, I guess my question is debt is something that I'm not too familiar with. So,
yeah,
advice
we got that. That's your nice way of saying it. Stressing your butt out. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess just advice on how to tackle this debt as promptly as possible while still being able to enjoy being newly married and kind of establishing our house and our bringing in furniture into our apartment, and also a dream of ours is to one day start a business together. So how to just, I guess, navigate all that. Maybe that's too
do you
far
want the
ahead of
truthful
time,
answer, or do you want the Pinterest answer?
Truthful answer. I'm not huge on Pinterest, so
I'm not into. I didn't know Pinterest was lies, but that's pretty. It's just butterflies.
Well, it's
and
just pretty
flowers.
pictures, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Truthful answer, please.
I think my wife and I were married 10 years because of the hole I dug. When we both were participated, but mostly me, to the tune of 6 figures and a whole bunch of degrees, before I finally was able to buy a headboard on Craigslist that I spray painted in my backyard. Here's what I'm telling you. Long-term in your marriage, the smartest thing to do right now is to pay your debts off. Borrow furniture, get crummy furniture, get to the next stage, man. But you have this picture of what you thought your first year of marriage was going to be like, and you'll have 6 figures in debt. And you can have all the pretty furniture in the world and all the nice cars in the world and all the new businesses, and that debt will bury your marriage. And I know that because I've done it. I lived it. And I kept punting it and moving it around and trying to do this and putting things off instead of just sucking it up and getting that stupid stuff paid off.
Here's what's weird. When you guys decide together and you take her 2 hands and your 2 hands, you look into her eyes, and you decide to spend the next 24 months on a garage sale couch that cost $13 and is pinkish blue, but we're not sure what color really. When you decide to do that, you're going to laugh about those days later, and you're certainly going to be, but it's actually going to, the weird thing is it's actually going to increase the quality of your relationship and your marriage more than the new couch will.
By 100 miles.
Because we're working together for a common goal, and we're sacrificing together for a common goal. And when you guys do that, when you pay a price for something you both believe in early in your marriage together, it knits you together more beautifully than than everything looking perfect, than a $100,000 wedding, a $200,000 car, and a $300,000 new business. So a crummy wedding day when it rains and the mushroom caps float in the little thing, and because you did it outside and you didn't think it was going to rain, and that knits you together. It sounds weird, Like, I don't want to sign you up for suffering, but you've already adopted it. So there you go.
Yeah, you signed you up for suffering.
Yeah, so let's get after it. So working extra jobs, living on a budget, the both of you being in agreement, not you dragging her along because you have anxiety about debt, but her being in agreement that, hey, this is a mess. We're both going to work on this. We're both going to lock arms. We're going to put equal emotional effort into it. And we're going to sacrifice to win for a short period of time. We're going to live like no one else so that later we can live and give like no one else. Your business opening is going to be down the line after you're out of debt, have an emergency fund saved, and then save up some money to start your business. Right now, you're just going to work your butts off, both of you. And both of you aren't working enough. You got to work more.
Here's another cool thing. You'll buy a different couch in 30 months than you would right now. Because you know how much $1 is worth and how much $1,000 is worth, and you're not going to buy a $5,000 couch.
Yeah. And so I start doing math if I'm you. Okay, $33,000 a year, it means I'm out of debt in 3 years. $50,000 a year means I'm out of debt in 2 years. And how am I going to do that making 58? I got to make more money. I got to have more money coming in. And I can't spend money on anything because I don't have any money. We're not going out to eat. We're not going on vacation. You're not going to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're freaking working there. But guess what? You're the second generation that thought you had to eat out every night your first year of marriage. Every other generation, the bride had the pleasure of burning meals for a year trying to figure it out. And then you can laugh about that too. And my wife is actually a good Southern cook, but she still screwed up a lot of stuff the first year. And you know how much I screwed up? None, because I didn't do nothing. So there you go. I screwed that up too. So there you go. But so I just got the pleasure of her being mad when I was making fun of her. But anyway, it's all good. So, but no, I mean, this is how life works, y'all. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay for everything to not look like Instagram, because that's someone else's highlight reel. Their kids still pooped in the floor 3 minutes before they did those little white suits and put them all together. 3 minutes before.
In the floor?
What are you thinking? You know they did.
I know they did.
Those kids that wear those white suits, you know they did that.
There's cha-cha everywhere at that house. Everywhere.
So, yeah, don't follow other people's highlight reels. Sacrifice to win.
Pay it off now. Pay it off now.
Two of you have a shared vision, very detailed, very laid out, where both of you are in agreement on it, and then get your butt in attack mode. That'll be the best thing ever happened to a young marriage, is to learn to accomplish goals together through sacrifice, through goal setting, through hard work. You can do that. You can do anything, my friend. Anything. Nothing will stop you. Here's the thing. When a pandemic hits, when $6 gas hits, when a loaf of bread goes up, when there's 73 people trying to buy one house and they run the price up, when it's weird out there, when you walk through the grocery store and there's not crap on the shelves, okay, you have a different physical reaction to those things. You have a different emotional and spiritual reaction to these things, a lot less drama to these things when you are the third pig. You remember the third pig? He's the one that had a brick house. And when the big bad wolf came, his pulse rate did not change. He looked out the window and said, "Oh, there's a wolf." When the big bad wolf came to the other houses, he huffed and he puffed, and he blew their freaking house down, and their lives were coming to an end. Right? So when you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, when you are living on a budget, when you have worked your butt off and gotten yourself out of debt, and all this crap comes at you, your pulse rate doesn't change. You go, dadgum, that's awful. It's inconvenient. They don't have cream cheese at Publix. Dadgum. You know? It's just a thing, right?
Can I be a fourth pig?
The fourth pig?
Can I be the fourth pig?
I don't know.
That you
What is
do
the
it.
fourth pig?
The fourth pig.
Is the fourth pig, is that the stepchild? Who's the fourth
I
pig?
might be the stepchild after this segment. We'll see what happens.
You may get thrown out of the family.
I might get thrown out. The fourth pig is you do it all, right? Thank God for parents that teach you young. You do it. You're living on a budget since 21. You save up your emergency fund. You're funding your 401k. You're doing it, okay? So you got the brick house. But the dadgum wolf, but he's real. And when that pig goes to the grocery store, it's like, dang it, Publix. It is though.
So the fourth pig
the
was a
fourth
drama
pig,
student.
Maybe so. The fourth pig can have the brick house, but the fourth pig also feels it when you fill up your tank and you're like, no, why is it so expensive? Or Costco, I check out and feels like it's double than what I did.
I didn't say you didn't feel it, but it doesn't have to have the level of drama that you're bringing to it.
I know, but God sucks, though.
I didn't say it didn't suck. And let me tell you when it sucks more. When you're not the third pig. I've been there. I mean, it's like when you're broke, everything that can go wrong will, and then they throw some of this crap on top of it.
Totally, absolutely.
And your life looks like a country song
so it's that much more.
Biden wrote. I mean, it's awful. It's horrible. It creates a huge. But the level of stress that you have, the level of anxiety that you have around inflationary matters, changes dramatically, or should.
Totally.
If you have your crap together because you've been following this stuff. This is the stuff that we teach is the only principles in finance that work in prosperous times and in hard times.
Yes. But also, so I would say the fourth pig lives too. Like when COVID hit, right? I know, I'm the fourth pig. I don't know, I'm making it up as we go.
I know, I can tell.
But it's the same feeling as with COVID, that the people that were debt-free, had an emergency fund, all of that, their level of fear was way less.
Yes, that's
than
my point.
All that. But there was still a level of, God, like,
yeah, I had that level. Yeah,
so
I get it.
So that's what I was just trying to acknowledge, that even though financially the dollars and cents, you can still pay for the gas and like adjust your budget and you're fine. You can pay for it.
Yeah, the dupes cut the stupid pump off at $125. I can't even fill up the truck. You know? I got to do it twice to fill it up.
That's why you need to go green.
I know, but
plug up.
Oh, good Lord.
And you don't have to do it.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, this is going downhill fast. But so
I can't fill up my truck.
The point is, though, that when you are prepared and you have done the things that we teach, this stuff does not have as much of an effect on you unless you choose drama. But the drama and the anxiety when you're broke is very real.
Yes.
I remember that. It's, like Deloney says, your body remembers it, and so, yeah, when the difference in $4 gas and $6 gas is a huge percentage of your world because you haven't done these things yet, or you've never chosen to do these things being getting out of debt, saving money, living on a budget, living on less than you make, so that you can build wealth, so that you've got some buffer between you and all this crap that's out there. That's the third pig. And it is a real thing that, it doesn't mean you're looking down on the little people. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that you're the third pig. And the wolf is out there, and he's huffing and puffing, but you're not going to die, And so the anxiety, if you have reasonable mental health, should be lower. You should not be at the same drama level, and so that's a real thing. And so that's
one of the benefits of what we're saying.
It's why you do this.
Yeah, that's right. It's
why you do this because guess what? If your anxiety level due to inflationary issues or whatever it is, budgetary problems, is lower, it affects your relationship when you go home at night with your kids and your spouse. It affects how you do your job at work because you're not sitting and wringing your hands and, you can actually concentrate, get your job done. Guess what? And then you get promotions. And so this whole thing leads to prosperity and away from the other. And so this should be yet one more time in your life, if you're out there and have never decided I'm going to get out of debt. You've never really decided I'm going to get on a budget. I've never really decided I'm going to build some wealth and have an emergency fund. This is one more reminder to be the third pig because you do have less stress.
Yes,
you should have less stress.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean you don't know it's there.
And I was doesn't
mean you're in denial that people are having a hard time somewhere else other than you. You're not a snob. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying the natural reaction should be it's inconvenient versus it's world ending.
Yes, yes. And even the simple thing, I was talking to someone who's getting out of debt, just being on a budget, she was like, even just that gives me a sense of control and peace because I know where to adjust and all of it. And even though it's still tight and it's like, oh, it's frustrating, it still gives you this level of control versus, like you're saying, just laying out and being like, oh my gosh, everything's just happening to me and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Giving yourself the ability to control what you can control. And that's this plan of getting an emergency fund in place, living on a budget, working your way out of debt so you don't owe anyone anything, building up an emergency fund, a fully funded one. Yeah, all of this, right, is to get to that point. So I totally concur. I just want to say they were still out of cream cheese. So that's the only thing I was saying in the break is that there are still a few things that are bare on the shelves. And
I'm just saying it's not the end of the world. And it's less the end of the world. Yep. It's less drama and less stress when you're the third pig, or unless you've graduated to the fourth pig, which is the third pig with drama, apparently. But whatever that is, I don't know exactly what that is right now. We're going to rewrite the fable at this point, but we're going to have a Ramsey version of the fable. And Rachel's going to tell us how to do the fourth pig. But this is horrible. But
I don't know. If
you're just scared to death. I'm not going to be empathetic of the people out there.
Well, all you said is that it didn't hurt month to month, the grocery bill, and I thought, I hurt. My every dollar, it hurt when I had to track that dang Costco transaction. I thought, dadgummit, it's just more. It just eats into it. My little line on my every dollar budget went way further than it did last month. So,
and that means that less pizza for you. And that's a problem.
Taquitos, Topo Chicos, all of it.
We get the fourth pig when we have less pizza. That's where the fourth pig comes out. Chuck and Cindy are on the line for a very special debt-free scream. Cindy, are you with us?
Yep, Chuck and I are both right here.
Hey, Chuck, I know you're not speaking to me right now, but I just want to tell you hello. So Cindy reached out to our Ramsey concierge team, and so did Chuck's hospice nurse, asking to, as a hospice wish, to do their debt-free scream, and that's how we got introduced to Chuck and Cindy over the last couple of weeks here around Ramsey, and then got it set up with Austin, our associate producer, to do your all's debt-free scream today. So, Cindy, let's start off with how much debt you've paid.
So we've paid off $120,000, and it was mostly just mortgage stuff. We had paid off some other stuff after while Chuck was in Afghanistan, but we had paid off, when we started the Ramsey plan, we paid off our mortgage. So
you paid off your mortgage, $120,000. How long did that take?
About 75 months.
Excellent. And Chuck was in Afghanistan with the military?
He was. He was what they call a dirt sailor. He was a Navy guy in the Afghanistan arena as basically a middle manager because they didn't have enough apparently. So,
well, thank you for your service, Chuck. We love you. We appreciate you. All right, now tell us your story of how we get to this call today and what's been going on with you and Chuck.
I'll try and do it without crying. So in June, Chuck was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer called a glioblastoma. And prior to that, we had been debt-free, and we're living our lives, and we're so happy, enjoying our lives. And when he got sick, one of the things that I was so grateful for was that we were definitely on the Ramsey plan, because I didn't have a mortgage that I had to stress about paying off or paying at all, like no mortgage payment. We had no consumer debt, and we had 6 months worth of expenses set aside. And when he first got sick, I sold my car and our little pop-up camper in order to move that to 10 months worth of expenses, of our normal expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So, what a relief.
Yeah.
I mean,
so let me
I
get my
can focus
timeline
on
right. So you were debt-free, mortgage and everything before June of last year.
yes,
Okay, so you're a
we
little
were.
you're a little late to do your debt-free scream here, but of course we got you on the phone anyway, right? But
Yes.
so you're 100% debt-free, house and everything. And how old are you?
We are 55 and 56.
Okay, and that all happened, and then he gets this diagnosis
Yep.
in June.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
and so since June we've been fighting terminal brain cancer.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. One day at a time, and filled with gratitude.
Amen. Amen. But he expressed to his hospice nurse that he didn't ever do his debt-free scream when he paid off the mortgage, and that was one of the things he wanted to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's nodding his head.
So what was this process like for you guys as you attacked the mortgage?
So we were probably a little different than most other people because we did all of ours with I'll say budgeting. You know, we were just really way more attentive to the budget. We had taught Financial Peace University 6 times, and each time we were able to kind of look at our budget a little bit differently, with a slightly different perspective. And so we used our income to pay down the mortgage. And, you know, it was basically an extra $1,000 a month, or if there was, you know, something else left in the budget at the end of the month, we're like, okay, well, let's throw that to the mortgage too. You know, because every dollar's got to have its name. So, you know, we just kept throwing any extra money that we had in the budget towards the mortgage.
Okay. People often say, I don't want to work this get out of debt plan. I need to live my life because life's short. And today we're talking about life being short. And yet you all sacrificed to be debt free. Do you regret doing that instead of spending all that money doing something else?
So, no, because we really lived our life a lot. I mean, we may have gone camping instead of a 4-star hotel, but we went places, we traveled, we lived our lives. We probably spent more time doing some of those things that people say, oh, I can't wait until I retire and I can do whatever. We really focused on living our lives before he got sick.
Yeah, and before you got the house paid off even, but then you're still intentional with the budget and dialed it in a little more every time you taught FPU and still got the house paid off. Yeah, I just want, because sometimes I have never talked to anyone in 30 years of doing this that regretted the sacrifice of getting out of debt, like they missed something because they did that. You know what I'm saying?
No. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. It has been the biggest gift through all of this. I sent an email a while ago to you guys, and it went through, you know, all the different filters and said, fill out this form. And I was like, too much work. I was a little lazy, but basically the title of my email was, thank you for saving our bacon. Because truly, if it hadn't been for the Ramsey program, I am not certain, you know, that I would have been able to literally, I walked out of work on Thursday afternoon, and he had his seizure on Friday morning, and I never went back, never looked back, knew that we'd be okay.
Yeah.
Because of the FPU program.
And he's a good man, and he knows that you're going to be okay.
That is one of his biggest concerns, was he just wanted to make sure I would be okay.
Yeah. And you are.
Yep.
Other than a broken heart, which I got with you, and I'm trying to get through this without crying too.
Sorry.
So we're going to be a blubbering mess here together, Chuck. I'm just saying, buddy. Oh, man. Whew.
So
mild.
what's your financial situation look like now with him being in hospice and you not working?
So the VA has stepped up. There's a whole lot of behind the scenes, and if anybody wants that information, I will be very happy. But between his work disability, Social Security disability, and the VA disability, as well as the VA paying me to be his caregiver, we are fine.
Yeah.
We are absolutely fine.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear that, hon. Well, Chuck, you're a hero, man. You served your country.
Absolutely.
You served your wife. And we are honored to do a debt-free scream with you today. Pretty stinking incredible. All right, Cindy, you guys ready?
Are you ready, Chuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Chuck and Cindy, Raleigh, North Carolina, $120,000 paid off, house and everything. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free.
We're a little quiet.
As it should be. Woo! That's how it's done. Man. Woo. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Wow.
Thank you both so much. What a special call. Honored
Amen.
to be a part of it.
Amen. Wow. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, I'm your host, Rachel Cruz, and welcome to the last episode in this series, Dave Ramsey's Greatest Hits, where we're looking back at the best moments from the last 10 years of The Ramsey Show on video. And for this final episode, we're highlighting Dave's top teaching moments. And I'm talking about everything from paying off debt, to building a home, to buying a car, all the classics. I promise you're going to get some wisdom you didn't even know you needed right now. So check it out.
This is the show where we talk about money in a way everyone can understand it and in a way that applies to everyone. The danger of these simple concepts is those of you that view yourself as intellectuals, those of you that view yourself as sophisticated, sometimes you look at something that's simple and you don't understand how profound it is. Like the borrower is slave to the lender. Oh, but I use credit cards to get my miles. You actually think you're going to take on a multi-billion-dollar company who studies your behavior more than you study your behavior and come out on the right end of this stick. That doesn't make you sophisticated. That makes you blatantly stupid. Think about it. Did you know the credit card is the most aggressively marketed product in the history of humankind? Nothing has been sold to anyone in any culture in any kind of a volume close to the credit card. No product line or service has had anywhere near as much money spent on marketing and sophistication to sell it to you. Hundreds of millions of dollars a year is spent to sell you this product. And then you're so stupid that you think you're going to get away with using it for free. If you do, it's going to be a short-term thing. Or if you think you do, you left out some of the variables. Example. When you spend using cash, it activates the pain centers of your brain. You have an ouchie moment when you hand over Uncle Benjamin Franklin. Dad, come, I just bought dinner. When you lay Uncle Benjamin Franklin in that black plastic tray known as his coffin, because he's going away and he's not coming back, you put him inside that little Visa or American Express fold-over vinyl thing that the server brings you, and you lay Uncle Benjamin Franklin in there, you have a moment with Uncle Ben. It's Uncle Ben, I'll never see you again. You know this is happening. When you pay with plastic and I interview you, 24 hours later, you don't know what the total was on the bill. You can't tell me what you spent. You don't know what you spent at the gas pump because you stuck a card in it, you pumped the gas, and you walked away. You can't tell me what your gas bill was. In the days that we used to walk into the market and lay money down on the counter, and then they would give you change because you didn't round it off, when you were putting your gas in, we knew exactly what we spent on gas in those days. Today, you don't even know what your gas is. You don't know. I use a debit card. I can't tell you what mine was. Can I tell you what it cost to fill up my truck the other day? I don't know. I didn't notice. Just stuck the card in, put the gas in, drove away. I'm just like you. Cash activates the pain centers of the brain. There's 2 or 3 things that activate memory. Memory is activated primarily by pain, fear, heavy emotion of some kind. Positive, pleasurable emotion will activate memory. That's why you smell something and you remember a girl you dated in high school. Smell activates that memory. That's what happens. And so that's the process. So here's the thing. If you can't remember it, it means the pain centers of your brain were not activated. And when we do surveys with what you spent on that meal, as you walk out of the door of the restaurant, you can't tell me what the total was. Oh, it was around $25, around $52. I don't know, 56, 54. I don't know. I don't even remember. I think I left the tip. I left a big tip because I've been drinking. Now you really can't remember anything, right? So this is how people handle their money. And yet you tell me you're going to beat the credit card company. You spend 12 to 18% more on average when you use plastic than when you use cash. That's what all the studies show us because you don't feel the pain. And the world's worst place is the grocery store. They are the best marketers on the planet. The best merchandisers on the planet is the grocery store. Man, they know how to put the food at the right place. The old-fashioned example, the easiest example, is the bread and the milk's at the back, right? Because everybody that walks in a grocery store is buying bread or milk, and they have to go through the full length of the store and have every opportunity to impulse on some kind of jar of peanut butter and jelly mixed together, pre-mixed for you. I don't know what you're impulsing on, but there's something getting your attention. It must be those new peach Cheerios I heard about today. And guess what? All the stuff is at the eye level that gets your attention, and they pay for the shelf position as you walk to the back to get your bread and milk, and you can't walk out without spending money. It's the aisles are designed for you to buy stuff. And when you use plastic at the grocery store, you have no idea what your grocery bill is. And you spend more. You spend more on clothing. Oh, yeah, throw in that accessory. Oh, yeah. You'll pick up other people's tab at the restaurant. I'll buy your dinner tonight. Not think anything about it. Just drop $50. Never think a thing about it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be generous. I'm not saying you shouldn't accessorize. And I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy some purchases at the grocery store. I'm just saying you ought to do it on purpose. And if you think that credit card use, even if you're paying it off every month, costs you $0, then you are a very naive individual that has been influenced by an industry that has spent more to influence you than any other industry in the history of the world. That should give you pause. That should give you pause. If anybody else was selling you that hard on anything, your shields would go up. But for some reason, when it's credit cards, we're like, oh, no, Dave, I have this figured out. I'm 26 and I've got this figured out. I'm 26 years old. I make $42,000 a year, but I'm going to beat up on old Discover card. They don't know anything. I've got them beat. I'm getting those Discover points. Not costing me a thing. You know how stupid that makes you sound when you say stuff like that? I'm making all my money on my airline miles. You know, I've met with thousands of millionaires. I've never met a millionaire who said, Dave, I made all my money on my airline miles. Dave, my breakthrough was my Discover points. I'll pay mine off every month, Dave. I'm beating up on the credit card company. I'm getting the use of their money, wink, wink. Millionaires just don't say stuff like that. Now, some of them use a credit card. They do pay it off every month. But I got to tell you, their lifestyles are so conservative. Beside, when I set them up next to you middle-class people who are spending everything you make and trying to convince me that I'm a troglodyte because I don't use credit cards, well, I'm not broke anymore. This is a multimillionaire troglodyte you're listening to. Why? Because I started understanding that behavior affects your ability to build wealth more than all your little math tricks you think you see all the variables on. The borrower is slave to the lender. It doesn't say accept airline miles. The borrower is slave to the lender. It doesn't say except discover points. The borrower is slave to the lender. It doesn't say except I got 0% interest on my new car, which lost $7,000 when I drove it off the lot, so it's not really 0%, is it? How stupid are we? I mean, you're gonna hand me a nickel in front of me while you're picking a $100 bill out of my back pocket and call me smart. Think, people. Think. So, as you know, most of you that listen regularly, we've been on the air now for a little over 25 years. Even before I was on the air, I was teaching people about money. When I first started this stuff, I'm a math nerd. I've got a degree in finance. I had all the letters and licenses after my name and all the different things. And, I was real concerned about the math. Really concerned about the math. And I would sit down with people and show them how to get out of debt. And they would go home and promptly not do it. It was really frustrating. I started figuring out that hope has more to do with you winning with money than math does. Because hope gives you, it's fuel on the fire. It gives you a reason to make changes, a reason to do something you've never done before. And really what we're saying here is that personal finance is about 80% behavior. It's only about 20% head knowledge and math. The problem with your money is not your math. The problem with your money is the person in your mirror. They're screwing up everything. If I can get the guy in my mirror to behave, he'd be skinny and rich, right? That's what I figured out. So I quit telling people to get out of debt, paying off the highest interest rate first. I started teaching people what we started calling the debt snowball. And it's a real tough metaphor to grasp. You list your debts, smallest to largest. You pay minimum payments on everything but the little one. You attack the little one with a vengeance. Scorched earth lifestyle. Sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. Take 16 extra jobs. Name the dog eBay and put him there. Put the cat on Craigslist. We're getting out of debt. We're getting out of debt. And you pay everything. You stop all investing temporarily and completely focus all your emotional, spiritual, financial, relational energy on that smallest debt. Everything goes on that. When that one's gone, you take the payment that used to be there and any other money we can squeeze out of our budget and we throw it at number 2. And when that one's gone, then we take the payments from 1 and 2. The snowball rolls over again. It picks up more snow and you attack number 3. The average person for the past 25 years that has done that with great focused intensity, intentionality, gone crazy to the point their broke friends and relatives thought they needed counseling. They shaved their head, they drank the Kool-Aid, they get out of debt in about 18 to 24 months, everything but their house. That's the average. Now, some of you got a lot of debt. It takes you 5 years. Some of you get out of debt in 4 months, but the average is between 18 and 24 months. It works. Millions, tens of millions of people have gotten out of debt. Debt-free screams alone on the air here last year were $49.8 million. That's kind of like $50 million. And that was just the ones that screamed on the air. Other people just stood in their backyard and screamed, and that worked too, You don't have to come on the air for it to count. You're out of debt. Shut up. Well, Dave, Dave Ramsey, I saw a guy on Twitter. Dave Ramsey doesn't teach the most optimum way to get out of debt. The most optimum way to get out of debt is to pay it off highest interest rate first, says the moron on Twitter. I used to be that moron. I tried that. The problem is it doesn't work. So let me explain to you what optimum means. Optimum is the one that works, not the one that's mathematically correct. Honey, if we were doing math, we wouldn't have credit card debt to start with. This is not a math problem. This is a you problem. It's personal finance. It's more behavior. Your success with your finance has more to do with you getting along with your spouse and being on the same page than it does mathematics. You can be a freaking math genius and you and your spouse aren't on the same page, and all of our data tells us you will not win with money. You will not build wealth. You cannot build wealth in spite of a princess or in spite of a prince who spends money like they're in Congress. You can't do it. You can't make enough money to outspend stupidity or out-earn stupidity. I tried it. Not my wife. I was the stupid one. I always thought if I just made a little more, it'd be okay. No, I had to learn to control what I had. So we started teaching people a class called Financial Peace University. The class is about 25 years old. Started teaching it with an overhead projector and a bad suit. It was $569 to go through the class. 4 people came the first night. 3 of them bought. $569. The class was 26 weeks long. 13 lessons come every other week for 6 freaking months. Guy stopped by here the other day that was in that very first class. Good to see him. I hadn't seen him in a long time. We got to be friends, he, his wife, and he and I, and he's a multimillionaire now, by the way. Why? Because I gave him money? I didn't give him any money. I just showed him how to do it, and he did it. He followed the steps that we teach in Financial Peace University, not only the baby steps, not only the debt snowball, but also start investing in good mutual funds over a long period of time. That's 25 years. You should be a multimillionaire. You do this stuff, it works. That's what optimum is, morons. You people that are calling me out, and it's not optimum. Let me just tell you, optimum is what works. That's what's optimum, not what's mathematically correct. I understand the debt snowball is not mathematically correct, and I don't really care. My math nerd down inside of me cringes, but I don't really care. What matters is what works, how it allows you to change your life. Dave, I'm thinking about building a house. Any suggestions? Absolutely. Definitely got suggestions when you're thinking about building a house. There's 3 and maybe 4 things you must do if you're going to build a house. Maybe 5, but I'll walk you through. Here's what we do, okay? There's some sub-pieces, so 3, maybe 4. The maybe 4 is if you've already picked out the property and bought it, and you've already got your builder, and you're doing kind of an independent, standalone type of a deal, then we will pass on number 1. But number 1 is if you haven't, then I would get a good buyer's agent realtor at daveramsey.com. Click on ELP for real estate ELP and get them to represent you through the whole transaction with the builder, help you navigate with the builder if you haven't already selected it. So if you're going in where somebody's building houses, a builder's got a subdivision going, and they're doing a whole bunch of deals, and they got houses popping up everywhere, and you're going to run down there and go, I want that one on that lot, and you haven't done that yet, and yeah, I'd get a realtor in your corner, a buyer's agent in your corner, because they'll work as your liaison during the construction process, and they're going to work their butts off for their commission, I promise you. Now, the other 3 are with everybody. Okay, there are 3 things that run a building job. A building job is simply a project. It's project management, that's all it is. If we're doing a project here, developing a product, how do you do that? Well, projects all need basically 3 things. You need a blueprint, which is how the project is going to be built. What's the house going to be? You need a detailed blueprint that you and the builder are in agreement on. If you don't already have that, while you're drawing it, involve your builder with the architect. So the 2 of them are working together to develop the plan. So the architect's not drawing something stupid that's ridiculous to be built or super expensive because they went to art class and don't know anything about building, okay? So you got to have the balance in there. But if you've already got your blueprint, you got your blueprint. That's thing 1. This is one of the 3 pieces of paper that manages a building job. The second piece of paper is do not engage in a building project without a detailed schedule. A schedule. When we built the homes that we built, we had a spreadsheet, and before we broke ground, we knew the week the trim carpenter was going to show up. We knew the week the painter was going to show up. We knew the week the roofer was going to show up. We knew the week the grading was going to be done on this or that. All, with bushes are going in on this date. We're going to get the CO, the certificate of occupancy on this date. And so you begin with the end in mind on the schedule. You got your blueprint. You got the schedule that we're going to build it. Then you could tell if the builder's off track because he's building something that's not on the blueprint, or he's off schedule because weather's been bad, or he hadn't done a good job of keeping the sub scheduled in. But if you start a house in October and you know March the 4th, the trim carpenter's supposed to be there, you can already schedule the trim carpenter. And so you don't end up without a dadgum trim carpenter when you're supposed to. And right now there's a shortage of labor in the building business. And if you don't have your subs lined up all the way out, you're going to get messed over on your schedule. So a schedule and a blueprint. The third piece of paper is a budget. A budget which we're building to. And when they come in and go, well, we can't do this on budget. What do you mean you can't do it on budget? This is the budget. This is what we said. And it keeps you from doing stupid stuff. We're building a house, and the decorator came in and picked out expensive carpet for the downstairs. Nobody goes downstairs much. And she's blowing our whole carpet budget, our flooring budget, on this stupid downstairs carpet. Because decorator's being a decorator, right? I'm like, no, this is Dave Ramsey building this house, kiddo. So put the cheaper carpet downstairs. Nobody goes down there anyway. And get your dadgum flooring budget back into, because we're not going a bazillion dollars over our flooring budget. And so you can build a house on budget, on schedule, and then every Friday we met with the builder and we looked at the blueprint, the schedule, and the budget and made sure everything that was done that week was lining up with all of that. The blueprint, the schedule, and the budget. The blueprint, the schedule, and the budget every Friday morning. And, of course, we had the money lined up, so we paid them every Friday morning. And they were able to pay their subs. Everybody's happy. Everything stays on track. We finished the houses early and under budget, the last 2 houses we built. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine building a house for me? How big a pain in the butt that is. But you know what? We didn't change 63 things during the way. The more change orders you do, the more you're going to lose your butt. It's hard on the builder. It's hard on the subs. It's hard on the schedule. It's hard on the budget. So make your mind up and stick with it. We did 2-3 change orders on both houses. I mean, almost no change orders. We had some big stuff we got in there. We went, no, this isn't right. We got to change this. And we spent, and it was on us. And then it's on me. And then mixed in this is you as the person building the stinking house have to do your job, and that is stay ahead of them on the selections. When you don't go pick out the carpet, you don't go pick out the light fixtures, you don't go pick out the faucets, you don't go pick out the plumbing fixtures, months and months and months ahead of when you need to, then you're slowing the whole thing down, and then you go, I had a bad experience building because you were so freaking indecisive you were impossible to work with. Every time I give this talk, builders all go, God, I wish I could get all my people to do this. I'm like, you need to demand it because you stay mad at your builder and it's your fault. Now, sometimes builders are doofuses too, like any other business. But if you've got a quality realtor helping you lead your way through this, and you'll do the budget, the blueprint, and the schedule. The budget, the blueprint, and the schedule. Manage to that, and you stay ahead of them. Don't you be the problem. You make your decisions. And a friend of mine took him an extra year to build his house because he couldn't get his wife to go pick out the crap. I mean, I'm having a fit. Hey, she couldn't make up her mind. I'm going to kill her. What are you talking about? She can't make up her mind. A year? Well, we enjoy the process. I don't enjoy process. I want to get it done. I'm like, why am I building a house? Because it's a game? No, I'm building it to move into it. So you stay ahead of them. You don't stop them from anything. You don't get in the way. You don't be a problem child. And don't you go over on the site and start telling subs stuff's wrong. You're not running the job. The general contractors run the job. If you're going to go around the site, the only thing you do is take food, smile, and tell everybody how wonderful they are. And if you got a problem, you call your builder, you call your general contractor. Don't you go telling the electrician of plugs in the wrong place. They get confused who the boss is then. Stay in the chain of command. Keep stuff picked out. Be a pleasant experience, and you will have a pleasant experience. But manage it like it's a project. I mean, people wander around the barn building these houses, and it takes you forever to get them done. I've got some friends that build houses here in the area, and they refuse to build houses for people. They build them as specs, and when they're done, you can move in them. You can buy them, but they won't let you be involved because people drive the builder crazy by being indecisive and changing stuff halfway through. And a country music girl in our area was building a house, and she and her decorator changed everything. It took them an extra year, and they spent an extra $4 million on an $8 million. I mean, it was supposed to be a $4 million house. It ended up being $8 million, and it took them an extra year to build it. All because she changed everything. She built a stupid house twice as she was going up. Just change. The whole house was change orders. I mean, it's ridiculous. No, that's a dumb way to build a house. It drives everybody crazy and makes the decorator money, makes the builder money, makes the builder crazy, and makes you, the customer, crazy and broke. Figure out what you're going to do and do it. Have a clear path to building a house. And you'll have a great experience if you do that. I have had great experiences. Now, no project of that size happens without glitches and without you having to have some discussions from time to time, like get your butt in gear kind of discussion. But that's true of managing any project. You got to line the labor sources up and get things moving. Like, dude, you guys are 2 weeks behind. How you going to make it up? I don't know. It's been raining. Well, make it up. I mean, I come over here, you ain't working. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Where the flip are you? Folks, if you listen to this long enough, you hear the show long enough, and you listen to the debt-free screams long enough, you find there's two types of people with money. Well, there's a lot of types of people, but people fall largely into two buckets. There's the bucket of people who are doing their debt-free scream, or someone like the young lady we interviewed in our lobby just a few minutes ago. They are happening to their money. The other bucket of people is the money happens to them. Dr. Stephen Covey used to say in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the number one habit of highly effective people is they are proactive. They happen to things. Everything doesn't happen to them. You make the assumption that we can't control all the external variables in our life, but we are largely in charge of our own destiny. Or we stand back and shake our head and wonder why everything bad happens to us. You either tell your money what to do, or you wonder where it went. Money flows from people who do not manage it to the people who do manage it. If you take someone who manages money well and as a result has become wealthy, and they lose everything, they will become wealthy again. Because the things that made them wealthy that did not leave when the money left. And when you take someone who does not manage money well and they're given a pile of money, have you ever noticed they end up with nothing? Because they don't happen to their money happens to them. Case in point, lotto winners. Someone wins the lottery, the bankruptcy rate is fourfold the national average. 4 times as likely to file bankruptcy if you win the lottery as not. Isn't that weird? The vast majority of lotto winners a decade later have nothing. Because the very thing that caused them to play the lotto in the first place gives you an indication that you're going to lose it. Why some athletes, when they get money, end up with nothing. Because the only skill they've got is athletic skill. They had no character, no ability to manage the money, no ability to say no ability to have good relationships and boundaries. Those are the things that lead you to build wealth. And so wealth is an intentional act. Now, bad stuff can happen to people, and sometimes people are poor because people are oppressing them. I understand that. I'm not picking on the poor. That's not what I'm doing. But what I am saying is that sometimes you're where you are because of a series of decisions you've made. As a matter of fact, usually you're where you are. And you can make new decisions. You don't have to, well, my family, the way I grew up in my neighborhood, my people, those are how sentences start when people are going to explain why they're losing and it's not their fault. The little man can't get ahead. People like me, you don't understand about the isms that are out there. Yeah, I do. Isms are real. They're real. But I meet people every day who overcome their isms. sexism, racism. People overcome their isms all the time. Hard work, hustle, smarts, looking forward, controlling the destiny. Can everybody do it? Apparently everybody can do it, but most people choose not to. They choose not to control the variables in their life. And so it comes down to something as simple in personal finance as doing a budget. When you do a budget, it is you exercising the fact that you believe you control your destiny. If you're a victim of destiny, why would you ever do a budget? If you're going to be controlled by an ism, if you're going to be controlled by the way you grew up, if you're going to be controlled by the people in my family, people of my heritage, people of my ethnic background, people of, you fill in the blank, if you're going to be controlled by that, I grew up on the other side of the tracks, Dave. Most millionaires did, by the way. The vast majority of millionaires grew up on the other side of the tracks. The only difference in them and the next door neighbor that's still on the other side of the tracks is they decided they didn't want to live there. So they picked their butt up and they moved to the other side of the tracks. They lived like no one else so that later they could live and give like no one else. Consequently, we see things like the 5 million families that have been through Financial Peace University. You know what the number one data point between them being successful or the ones that are successful going through that, getting out of debt, and the ones that aren't? The number one data point is to do a budget. We can predict your success in Financial Peace University by the second class. It's 9 classes when you go through, 9 lessons. The second lesson, we can tell if you're going to be successful. Did you come in with your zero-based budget done in every dollar the way we teach you? No, I've got my own version of Dave Ramsey. I've got my own version of smart. I'm Ish. I'm Dave Ramsey-ish. I'm going to do Financial Peace University-ish. You're not going to make it. Our data, when 5 million people do something, you got good data, okay? We got good data. We know exactly who's going to make it and who's not. We can study your behavior and tell you, if you keep on this path, you are going to fail. And you've already started down the wrong path, so you got to turn around and go back and start again. The people that do their every dollar budget complete the class. They typically go to all 9 lessons. They stay in the membership for a year, continuing to watch online. They download the podcasts. They watch the debt-free screams on YouTube to stay inspired, to stay on their budget. How interesting. They were sick and tired of being sick and tired. They said, I'm not going to be those people anymore. I am going to control these variables. I'm going to control my destiny. Do sometimes their transmission go out? Does sometimes there a car wreck? Does sometimes somebody get cancer? Does sometimes somebody die? Yes, sometimes tragedy happens. Yes, sometimes they get laid off. Yes, but guess what? They get up and do it again. Sometimes they get knocked on their butt and they get back up and they do it again. And you get back up and you do it again when you have a plan and when you believe you're in control of your destiny. If you fall off your budget and you mess up, you get back up and you do it again. You don't take the Every Dollar app off your phone, which, by the way, it's fairly easy to put back on because it's free. And you sit down there and you do your budget. The correlating statistic between people that win at anything and people that lose are those that are intentional. People that win are intentional. You don't accidentally win the freaking Super Bowl. They never interview the guys at the end of the Super Bowl and go, how'd you do that? I don't know, man. I just got off the bus and I just won. I have no idea. No, it's an intentional act of a decade plus, 2 decades usually, of practice and skill development that brought them to that. 10,000 hours of practice brought them to that. You don't accidentally play a guitar like Brad Paisley. It's not an accident. It's an intentional act. Now, some of you got drunk and woke up married, but most people getting married is an intentional act. You date, you court, you're very focused, you do everything right, you smile at the right time, and you shave and take a bath. and it causes courting to work and you get married. As we've been doing this millionaire research, one of the pieces of data that we've discovered is by studying 10,000 millionaires, that the average millionaire drives a 4-year-old car with 41,000 miles on it, and of course it's paid for, and they haven't had car payments in decades, which is how they became a millionaire, because the average car payment now is over $500, about $504 a month over 84 months. If you invest $504 from age 30 to age 70, you'll have somewhere around $5 million in your Roth IRA. I hope you like your car. Our advice, knowing that cars lose 60 to 70% of their value in the first 4 years, is to buy a quality used car unless you have a net worth in excess of $1 million. Then if you want to buy a new car, you can afford to take the loss on it. But the worst car accidents do happen on the showroom floor. Well, Dave, I'm always worried about buying a used car. Well, what are you driving? If you're driving a car that you bought 2 months ago, it's now a used car. If you're driving a car you bought 5 years ago, it's a used car. What are you driving? Listen, the vehicle quality is so high now that we get through 300,000 miles out of a car. Most of these cars run and run and run and run and run if you have to take care of them. So don't buy a new car unless you've got a net worth in excess of $1 million. Now, how do you negotiate the best deal on your car? Well, the same way you do a lot of things. There's a couple of keys to negotiating. One is he with the most knowledge wins. So study. Learn about that car. Go on Trader.com. Go on Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds.com and look up stuff about the car. Google the car. Read articles about the car. Look at different versions of the car, different packages that are on the car. The luxury package, the standard package, the 2-door, the 4-door, the different engines that are in that particular car. Learn all about a Honda Civic if you're going to buy a Honda Civic. Learn. People impulse a big purchase like a car. That makes you stupid. You don't impulse that. You study that. And then pay cash, of course. Now, most of the time, paying cash means that you are doing a bank transfer. But sometimes you can walk in with the cash and just lay it on the table. It's not that much money. I mean, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000, whatever. It kind of blows a dealer's mind, but certainly if you're buying from an individual, when you put cash on the table, it says we have a deal. It doesn't say, oh, I need to check with my banker. You ever sold a car on Craigslist? I need to check with my banker, and then you never hear from them again. I'll take it, but my banker will do it, and never hear from them again. But when you lay cash on the table, there's no, I need to check with my banker in there. It's a done deal, baby. It's locked in, right? And listen, don't get married to one car. Be prepared to walk away. Listen, when you bought something emotionally, even the most inept seller recognizes the body language changes. I mean, you guys know when somebody's bought something, right? Even though they haven't done the deal. The negotiation's over once they know you're married. I'm married. I have to have this car. So just be quiet. Let them talk, the seller, that is. Tell them, you've looked this car up, you've studied a lot, this seems a little high. And then be quiet. Let them talk. You can negotiate online. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can have the car inspected. And a good thing to do, too, is check with one of our endorsed local providers on the insurance side and find out what it costs to insure that car. You might be looking at one $7,000 car that's almost twice as much to insure as another $7,000 car.
All right, you guys, that's a wrap on this limited series, Dave Ramsey's Greatest Hits. I loved looking back at the last 10 years of The Ramsey Show on video, reliving some of the best moments, and honestly, seeing how consistent Dave has been over time. It really is a testament to the timeless money principles that we still teach on The Ramsey Show. And yes, some things have changed. The studio has gotten a makeover. Dave's fashion choices may or may not have gotten a makeover. And now we have a whole team of personalities instead of just Dave. But despite all these changes, the advice we teach has stayed the same. It still works. And if you follow our money principles, you will build wealth. Good news. You can keep up with our life-changing content every weekday on The Ramsey Show. Just make sure that you're subscribed to The Ramsey Show channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me for Dave Ramsey's Greatest Hits.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Justin's in Washington, D.C. Hey, Justin, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So I'm active duty military, and I have a decent amount of credit card debt, along with debt in general. And I'm trying to figure out how I can start knocking this debt off, and eliminating this. Because it's become a bit of a burden, and I honestly don't even know where to start.
Cool. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Cool. How much debt you got?
Between house, credit card, vehicles, we're about $350.
How much of that's house?
$290.
Okay, so you got $60,000. How much of that cars?
About 30 to 40.
Okay, so you got $30,000 in credit card debt.
Roughly.
28. Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. Thanks for your service. Which branch you serve in?
I'm currently Army, sir.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much. How long you been in?
I've been in about 6.5 years.
About long enough to make this mess.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay.
And you're ready for a change. The payments have caught up to you, and you guys are feeling the weight of these, and you want out.
Yeah.
What's your household income?
Between my wife and I, we're about $100,000.
Great. So you make 100, you owe 60 in this consumer debt. So the question is, how much margin can we create to throw extra on the debt? And we're going to follow the debt snowball method. That's the way 10 million people have followed it. It's the same way I got out of 40 grand in debt. And so you have how many debts? 3, or is it more than that total? Between the car loans and the credit card, is it multiple cards?
No, it's one credit card, and honestly, I really didn't even want to get a credit card to begin with. Fortunately, but when you become a homeowner, it's one of those things where you got to have it as like a backup plan.
Well, a backup plan would be your own money, like having an emergency fund where you become the bank.
Money would be a backup plan. Debt didn't turn out to be a good backup plan.
20% interest on 30 grand is a bad plan for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So how much are you going? Okay, so we're going to list the debts, smallest to largest. You have one big credit card, one big car, and that's it. Other than the house, is that it?
Yes, and I have one of my cars is paid off already.
Yeah.
And then I do have a motorcycle that's for a loan $10,000 right now.
Okay. All right. And what did you say the household income was again?
We're about a little under 100,000. It's like 98 and some change.
Okay. Justin, when I was exactly your age, I filed bankruptcy. That was 30 years ago. About
Really?
35 years ago now. So I know how it feels to be scared and broke. And after that, I figured out how to get out of debt and stay out of debt. And I figured out that it was worth it to sacrifice now. I call it live like no one else, so that later you can live and give like no one else. The way you're living life now is all the money comes in, all the money goes back out, and there's nothing left but stress.
So we, after each paycheck, we still pocket about anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 a month after all of our bills.
If I woke up in your shoes, knowing what I know now, and today I'm a multimillionaire because I quit doing stupid crap, or as much, I limited the stupid crap I do, right? And so if I woke up in your shoes, I'm going to give you a real harsh prescription, because I know that the faster you get out of this mess, the faster you're going to actually become wealthy. You see the ratio of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, anyway, I would sell my motorcycle today. It's a freaking toy. You don't need it. You can get your motorcycle later. By the way, I have several things with wheels and motors in them now, but I didn't have them when I was broke. And so you drive like no one else, so that later you can drive like no one else. You're driving a $30,000 car. I'd probably consider selling that and moving down. But if you want to plow your way through it, you got $60,000 worth of debt, And if you do that at $2,000 a month, that's 30 months. Right? 2.5 years.
Okay.
You don't need to see the inside of a restaurant, and you don't need to go on vacation. The only time you're in the inside of a restaurant is if somebody you love is working there and you're getting a free meal. And that might be you. But I don't care. Nobody is going anywhere except we're getting out of debt. We're living on beans and rice and beans. We're going to clean this freaking mess up, and we're never going back in debt again. Because if you didn't have any payments but a house payment right now, man, you'd have some money. And you deserve to have some money because you have put in your time serving your country. You don't deserve to be this broke.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
Now, will you say, this is going to boot camp. That's what I'm doing. You hearing me?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I actually do have my motorcycle up for sale right now.
Good. You're ahead of me.
What's it
I
listed
made that
for?
decision that so after all the aftermarket stuff I put on it, I'm trying to sell it for about 10.
And you owe 10.
Yeah, so I figured if I can get maybe a little bit less, maybe 9,500, I can put the
Yeah, you can cover it, or a little bit more, and you'd have 500 to throw at the credit card. Chop the credit card up, get your wife on a budget. You two sit down and get the Every Dollar app out. It's completely free to download it and use it. It's the #1 budgeting app in the world. Go check it out and sit down and lay yourself out a budget and commit to boot camp for the next 24 to 30 months, and you could be debt-free but the house, and then that sets you up with a lot of money in your pocket to do a lot of stuff with in generosity, in investing, and to begin paying off your house.
Yeah, and there's a lot of sacrifice you can make. If 30 months sounds like a long time, let's sell more stuff. Let's increase the income. Let's get the expenses down.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Brought to you by CHM, a biblically based alternative to health insurance. Learn more at chministries.org/budget.
I just have a question about home repairs and basically the route we should go on if we are trying to knock debt, but we do currently live in a home that is proving to be not actually livable.
Are we talking like black mold, or is it like I don't like the kitchen?
No, we're talking about extensive mold. When we got testing done, it didn't come back as anything majorly toxic, but obviously it's just not currently ideal situation to live in.
So that's interesting to me. So you got it tested and they said it's not overly toxic. Does that just mean they can remediate it, move on, and no one's concerned?
They can remediate it, but the problem is the space that was added on to the house before we moved in was improperly ventilated. We actually didn't know this, but they built on top of a crawl space, and then they just sort of tapered it off. And so there's a portion of the house that's not actually a true crawl space, but there is no moisture barrier. So now the support beams under that part of the house have completely rotted away with the mold, and our floor caved in. That part of the house is not habitable. Got you.
So how much does it cost to fix it? Fix all of it?
The remediation alone would be between $6,000 and $8,000, but that does not include demo and to rebuild it. And we actually don't know if that includes mold that has traveled up into the sheetrock or if it's strictly underneath the floor.
Got you. Okay, so now hit us with the hammer of why you can't afford this and why this is a.
Well, we potentially could be looking at thousands and thousands of dollars, and we're just wondering what route should we go? Do we take out a loan to try and get this fixed? Do we everything that we've searched, it keeps pulling up HELOC, and we're uncertain about that. So we just don't know what route to take here. Insurance is not going to cover it, by the way.
Do you have any money anywhere? Like, do you have any money saved anywhere?
We have a little bit in 401k. We have a little bit in savings, but not much.
What's in savings?
It would be just around a couple of thousand. It's not much at all.
Like 3,000 or like 1,200?
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay, well, you're halfway there for the remediation. That's the good news.
True.
And we know it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. So could this happen over the course of the next, 90 days and you guys cash flow it? Could you save up $1,000 or $2,000 a month out of your paychecks?
Absolutely not.
What do you guys take home every month?
I'm not sure of the exact number that we take home, but yearly between the two of us, we probably only make about $75,000.
Okay, so here's where I want to challenge you because I asked you a question and George asked you a question and you didn't know the answer to what I would say are pretty basic numbers, Courtney, which is how much do you have in savings and how much do you make every month, which that lets me know you don't have much of a budget.
We don't.
Okay,
Not
which
much
also
of a budget. There is a little bit of backstory there. We have had some issues in the past, and for that reason, we did keep our finances separate. So I'm tallying numbers here, and this is something that we are working towards. That's a separate issue.
Okay.
We are working towards that goal, but these are roughly around the numbers that we would be working with.
So you're separating the money, but it's not you having all the control over the money or him having all the control over the money. You're managing your own. Is that what I hear?
Correct.
Okay. That being said, it doesn't change the fact I still think that you need a budget, and he needs a budget.
Definitely.
And I think when you do that, because right now you really can't answer George's question. You don't know if there's extra margin you could pull together.
There's not $1,000. I can almost guarantee I could find you $1,000 if I looked at your bank statements and helped you create a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to encourage you that it is possible to do this, making $75,000 a year.
So what do we do about the literal store being, we cannot use that part of the house?
I mean, what are you doing today? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I could only hear it with both of you.
Well, I'm just wondering, you haven't been able to use it. What was it used for previously, if anything?
That was our bedroom.
So where are you guys living right now or sleeping?
Well, I am currently in the living room.
Like on a couch? Is there an air mattress in there? What's the situation?
We tried to move our bed into the living room, and it wasn't working out. So we tried to move it into a back part of the house, and ultimately the couch was a better option.
Are there kids involved?
Yes.
Okay, how many kids?
1.
Okay, and their bedroom's intact?
Yes.
But mom and dad are hanging out in the living room?
Yes.
That's an adventure.
Fine.
That's a story you'll be able to tell one day to your kids.
It's a camping trip.
It's an adventure,
so
for sure.
could you survive this for another 6 months?
We've been living like this for 5 years.
Well, I'm sorry, 5 years?
Yes.
Wait a second.
So this
Yes.
issue has been happening for 5 years, and we're just now doing something about it?
No, this has been, like I said, there's been some other issues in other areas that don't deserve any time on the air.
Okay.
But now that we have worked through some of those issues and we are trying to get on top of finances, we just truly don't know where to go. And we've only recently started. My husband recently started the Dave Ramsey plan, and so we're on the right track. But it's been really hard to try and convince him that taking out some sort of loan or something somewhere to get this fixed is a good idea, because right now he's really wrapped up in the idea of knocking out all debt, knocking out everything. But ultimately,
so you want to take out the loan and he doesn't?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'm hearing. There's discomfort going on. You've experienced something in your relationship. You don't have to mention it on air, but whatever that is, that has been very uncomfortable. And now you've had this thing pop up in your home, the mold and the issue with the, I don't know, joist. Is that what they're called? I don't know, the wooden beam. And that's uncomfortable, and you're trying to get the money, and that's separate. So that's uncomfortable. There's a lot of uncomfortability going on. And now you called this show and we're asking you to do something else that is potentially quite uncomfortable for a longer period of time. And I think you're probably just experiencing a fatigue in that area of,
100%.
Can I just please have a simple solve, guys? Can you just make it easy for me? And unfortunately, debt can look like the simpler, it can look like the solution, and it can look like the easy button, but you've just told us you've been through some things. And if you turn around and add this debt to the equation, yes, maybe you get the thing fixed tomorrow, but now you've got this huge amount of debt hanging around your neck that you guys have to get on the same page on financially, which you're not, in order to pay off. And I can tell you, it's probably going to be easier for you guys to lock arms and pay for something in cash than it is going to be for you guys to lock arms and pay off this debt, because your money's separate. So he pony up the cash, you pony up the cash, and you guys get this thing paid for in cash.
I'm on team husband. HELOCs are only going to give you permission to do the stupidest things, like take this mold situation and go, you know what? Full kitchen reno. They're giving us $100,000. Don't do this, Courtney. It's going to be hard, but more debt is only going to make your situation more difficult.
CHM isn't health insurance. It's a health cost-sharing ministry. Check it out for yourself at chministries.org/budget.
Thanks for joining us, America. Candace is with us in New York. Hi, Candace. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I just want to know if you have any tips on saving a house cash, because my husband and I were really hesitant on the idea of getting a mortgage, and we also want to know if we're saving cash, should we still contribute to retirement while doing that, because we don't want to fall behind on retirement.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 26. My husband's 25.
Okay, good. Okay. And you're debt-free already and have your emergency fund?
Yeah, we became debt-free last month, and we'll be done with our emergency fund by the end of this month.
Very good. Good for you. Well done.
Thank you.
How much can you save a year if you don't do retirement?
It looks like we can save, if we're really, really strict on ourselves, it looks like we can save probably about $36,000 a year with our retirement.
Okay. And how much are you wanting to save total?
Well, we were thinking of just starting with a really small house in our area, maybe buying like a co-op, which is pretty popular over here, or a condo first around like $200,000, and then just keep saving and move up in house from there.
Right. Okay. So if you came, you'd be at about a 5-year plan if you were a little under $200,000, right? 36,000 divided into 200,000, right?
Right.
It would be 6 years roughly if you do the full 200, a little over 200, but somewhere between 150 and 200, you could do it in about 5 years, not counting getting raises and not counting saving even more. That's the most I would want to go.
Okay.
I don't want to wait much more than 5 years to buy, and I don't want to wait much more than 5 years out of your retirement system. So, yeah, I mean, whatever you're going to do, I would try to do it in under that. But then, so the point is you're sitting with a paid-for property, no payment in the world at that point.
Right.
And you're making really good money, and you're 30-something, 31, 32 years old.
Right.
And so can you become a multi-millionaire doing that? Absolutely you can.
Okay.
If you just pay yourself a house payment from age 30 to age 60, you'd be a multi-millionaire.
Right. Okay. Okay, great. So we'll go ahead. And would you recommend maybe if we did, would you think might be a good idea to do maybe like 10 to retirement and save maybe a little bit less?
It's up to you. If you're going to go longer than 5 years, I'm starting to get pretty nervous about it.
Okay.
Okay, if you're going to be under 5 years and you want to do 0, in your case, you're still going to be very young and without a house payment when you pay cash for this house.
Right.
31 years old is very young with 0 house payment, and you got the income for the rest of your life to build wealth with. I mean, if you'll just keep paying attention, again, pay yourself a house payment plus or minus a little, you can be a multimillionaire.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate your advice.
Very well done. Good job. You're thinking. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.